Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
All right, baby. Welcome to the Gridiron. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. I don't know why that makes me laugh every time. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified, and it's free of charge. What do you got to lose? It's totally free of charge. But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel, the description box below, very top link, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. And then finally, just underneath that, somewhere down there, just on there, there's another link. It takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,600 members in the group. It is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants to Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied, I promise. Well, day one's in the book. We still don't have any idea what quarterback's going to be, but you know, we got some. We certainly had some stuff going on. That's for sure. I mean, you know, guys flying around left and right, and you know, just. Phew, man, it's day one is crazy, but you know, right? We needed a corner back, and we got one. Okay, of course he's coming off a broken femur, but and he's still, you know, let's see here. I know he's what 27. What am I talking? 27. August will be 26. My bad. So it'll be 26 before the season starts. So he's just a baby. He's 3rd round pick. That's what the you know, his rookie deal was up, right? Yeah. So the 3rd round pick, they did themselves pretty good. However, they were not interested, I guess, in re-signing him, right? So the Giants swooped in and picked him up. I did see. He's got some video out there of you know, just seeing him like running around and moving. And what did he do? Did he do a backflip? I think it was, or something. The beginning of the video, I think it was a backflip he did. Then he was doing some other stuff with stepping and stuff like that and all and everything. So looks like he's certainly coming along. So good for him. Now, I guess, you know, this is the you know, sliding over Banks. So now, if you look, right, Flat didn't do too bad last year. Now, maybe if this might light a little fire underneath the butt of Banks, we had to go out in free agency and basically replace Banks, slide him over to the other side, you know, against, you know, make him cornerback number 2. We got Phillips in the slot. Flat. And then Hawkins, right? Trey Hawkins, the 3rd, right? So you know, we got some you know, young guys. We certainly have a young secondary, that is for sure. Trey Hawkins, the 3rd, shall I say, right? The 3rd. Couldn't remember if it was the 2nd or the 3rd. I do apologize, but it is the 3rd. So we got some young guys, right? Now it never hurts. Now we do need unless we wind up bringing back Pinnock, right? But I don't think I saw him signing anywhere. I don't think. But I said unless we bring him back, you know, we need a safety. We need another safety, right? But it never hurts, you know, to add, you know, in the draft, somebody in the secondary. Somebody in the offensive line, somebody on the defensive line. Should be almost like, you know, pretty much written in stone. But you know, it is what it is. Sometimes, you know, drafts don't fall the right way, right? If you want a safety and you're drafting in the 4th round and you got a 6th round grade on this safety here, you certainly don't want to take. I mean, the board's got to fall in the right way too. But So our cornerbacks are young, right? Hawkins, right? Rookie deal. Flott, still rookie deal. This is his fourth year. Phillips. What's up, buddy? Drew's in the house. Goofballs are here, right? So, Phillips be his second year. Banks third year. So we got young guys in the secondary, right? So hopefully, let's see. I got him up here somewhere. All right, so this is fourth year. Now, last year, once again, this is all just PFF, okay? Right? He only played the first 7 weeks. I guess against Denver, he broke his femur. He only played 28 snaps. For the year, he graded out a 63.3. He had some real good games. One or two clunkers, but for the most part, I mean, one thing I do like is, he has some interceptions. I thought it was, I got an article I'm going to read. I do believe is it 10? Yeah, it's 10 interceptions for his career. So, which is something the Giants certainly could use. I mean, because, what do we have? 5 interceptions last year? I mean, 5 or 6. I mean, it was horrible. So, it was a good signing. Good signing. We still need other guys and all and everything, but right. Also, we're going to be talking about the other guys that they brought in. Some guys are just for some depth and all that and everything. Then we brought back Slayton. I mean, it's. I've seen some guys in some of the groups talking about Slayton. I like Slayton. I'm happy he's back and all that stuff and everything. The thing is now it's like, and I saw somebody brought this up. There was an article or post in a Facebook group is that, now we're paying basically our third wide receiver, basically the money that we could have been paying Saquon Barkley, right? Because paying him like $12 million a year, right? So now we're paying our third wide receiver more money than the first wide receiver 1 and 2 combined. So Wandale and Malik, right? But of course, they're still on their rookie deals up. But but we did get we got Slayton back. Let's see. Now there's a couple articles I got here. Now some of the guys I don't know. Some of the NFL experts graded the Giants' first big move of the offseason. I don't know. Cody Benjamin of CBS Sports, I have heard of him. He graded the Adebo move in A. Looking for some playmaking spunk to offset the 2024 loss of Xavier McKinney. New York is adding one of the most underrated cover men on the market here. Adebo has been a ball magnet when healthy. And he only turns 26 years old. So we got him on a 3-year deal. I'm sure we could probably get out after 2. But we got him for 3 years. Tyler Brook of the 33 team. I heard the 33rd team. I'm sorry. I haven't heard of Tyler Brook. Don't know who that is. But he gave it an A+. Said the Giants make what might be one of the most underrated but valuable free agent signings of Monday by bringing Paulson Adebo into the Big Apple. Adebo has been an ultra-productive corner the past 2 seasons, generating 7 interceptions and 28 pass breakups. He's a great fit alongside some of New York's young cornerbacks like Deonte Banks and Drew Phillips. Now, we're just chock full of young in the cornerback position. The cornerbacks, the safeties, just young. Really just young. Mike Jones of The Athletic rated it a B. The talented 5th-year pro suffered a broken femur in October against the Broncos. Still recorded 3 interceptions in 7 games. So at that pace, he would have had at least 6 interceptions for the season, just at that rate, right? Which would have been, I think, more than the entire Giants team did all last season. He had 4 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries in 15 games in 2023. If he can stay healthy. Adebo has a chance to develop into a premier corner and should help improve a Giants defense that allowed foes to post a combined passer rating of 103.1, which is the third highest in the NFL. And in Gary Davenport of Bleacher Report, I've heard of him, gave it a B+. This was a solid get for Big Blue. Adebo may not have been the best cornerback available in free agency, but he's an ascending young talent. And they didn't pay the most. Oh my goodness, what's the dude? Giants to sign Chauncey Goldstein. Did you hear that? Or I didn't see that. What's the dude's name from the Panthers? 20, I think, for the cornerback. 25 million, I think he got. 4 years, 100. Was it 4 years, $100 million? I think he got. So I mean, yeah, the Giants certainly did not spend the most on a cornerback in free agency so far or whatever. But so this was a decent signing for the Giants. They needed a number one. They got that. Now they said it wouldn't be bad if they actually added, some more depth. They do need a safety, especially if they're not bringing Pinnock back. While no one would argue the Giants' biggest need comes at quarterback, the front office really needed to find a true number one cornerback. And that's one of those things is that, why it's so, obviously it's, gotta, bring this up. Everybody knows this. That's why it's so important to hit on those, especially those early round picks, those first round picks. I mean, you look, I mean, like, you go back to, it's 2016. So what, the last 9 drafts, I guess, would be, right? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay. Last 9 drafts, right? Eli Apple. I was going to call him like banana or something like that, but Eli Apple, or I was going to call him like a pumpkin. What I mean, DeAndre Baker, right, and Tay Banks, first round picks, right. And we still, out of all 3 of them, we never found a number one cornerback, right. So, and you can't blame all that on like Shane, because all those, Apple, Baker, right, and Banks, they're all drafted by different GMs. So that's why it's so important to hit, And the thing is that, well, we didn't trade up for Apple, thank God. We only took him at number 10, but Baker, right, we traded up back into the first round for him, and Banks we moved up like 2 spots, I think it was, or something like that for him. So the last 2 guys we even moved up in the first round to get those guys, and they're still. Let's see. So they have done so with former New Orleans Saints defender Paulson Adebo, who reportedly agreed to a 3-year deal worth $54 million. So $18 million a season. Now, obviously, don't know exactly what it is. I'm sure it'll wind up being a Horn, J.C. Horn. There you go. 4-year, $100 million. So J.C. Horn got $25 million a season. So the Giants are paying only 18, right? Given a lack of development from the 2023 first-round pick, Deonte Banks, who is yet to establish himself as a consistent contributor, it was necessary for general manager Joe Schoen to make a move like this. Adebo is coming off a shortened season that ended after just 7 games due to his fractured femur against the Broncos. But he's quietly been a standout cornerback for the better part of his career. 6'1", 192 pounds, Adebo has appeared in 52 games with 51 starts since entering the league. Adebo has recorded 10 career interceptions, 7 of which came over the last 2 seasons. He's also added 43 passes defensed, along with an 85.4 passer rating and a 7.8 yards per target. Giants now have a more stable cornerback room to work with as slot defender Andrew Phillips is coming off a strong rookie season. The room could really take a step forward if Banks can make strides in his third season. Now, hopefully, this might light a little fire under Banks's rear end, and hopefully, now there are some teams out there obviously that have two very good wide receivers like the Eagles, right? So going from maybe if he's covering Brown to Deonte Smith, that's they're different in stature, but they're both very good wide receivers. But other times, right, you got if Banks is sliding over and becoming the number 2 cornerback, most of the time, or at least half the time, if not most of the time, the wide receiver number 2 is a little bit of a step down from wide receiver number 1. So hopefully, if this lights a fire under Banks's rear end, and he starts maybe getting a little bit better, maybe the new cornerback coach that we brought in could help develop him a little bit better, something maybe Henderson was not doing, and maybe that's why they wound up letting him go. We'll have to wait and see, but at least the Giants went out and they got themselves their number 1 cornerback, so that's good news. As I said, they got a young. Adebo's the only one actually not on his rookie deal, but like I said, he'll be turned 26. What did I say? July, August. So he's young. Between Hawkins, right, Phillips, Flott, this will be his 4th season, so he's still on his rookie deal, right? Adebo and Banks. We got a bunch of young guys in the secondary, and even in the safety too, a bunch of young guys as well too. All right, so now this one, as I said, I love Slayton. I think he's, sometimes you also have to look at it too. You got to think business wise, and all that. It's not, you don't want your heart getting in the way. But Slayton's been a model, to me anyway, a model teammate. The first year that Dable and Shane came in here, right? For all intents and purposes, like in the beginning of the season, he was like on the practice squad. Right? Then through injuries and all, he worked his way back onto the team, right? And almost every year, all he does is catch like at least 700 yards receiving. Now, he didn't do that this year, but that's because the lion's share of the targets went to Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors. They between the two of them, they had over 300 targets between the two of them. That's a lot of balls, right? So, there wasn't many balls to get thrown around. The Giants ever actually develop a good offense where the offense actually stays on the field longer, right? There'd be more balls to be thrown around, right? So maybe Slayton's numbers might go up a little bit. I was a little shocked because, like, a lot of the stuff what he was talking about, and I understand, especially at the end of the season, though, it seemed like he wanted to go someplace where he was going to become more involved in the offense. And it doesn't seem like he was doing that with the Giants this past season when, as I said, with Wan'Dale and Malik Neighbors getting the ball thrown their way a lot. They had over 200 receptions between the two guys, right? He also wanted to get paid, right? So he got, $12 million a year. I was kind of shocked he actually came back. But he also said, I think he wanted to become a part of something, but also seemed like, maybe a better situation where maybe they actually had a chance of winning some football games and maybe going to the playoffs. So I was kind of shocked he came back, but I'm very, very happy. Because I hate losing guys that you draft, especially, he's not a superstar, but a good player, a good teammate. Really seems like a great guy. The only thing is, as I saw some of this stuff on Facebook, is that now they're talking about, their number 3 wide receiver is making more than number 1 and 2 combined. That's only because they're still in the rookie deal. But then I said, then the other thing, there was a picture. Somebody had posted a picture in one of the Facebook groups of Slayton and Saquon next to one another. And like at the top says, now the Giants' number 3 wide receiver is making like Saquon Barkley money. Or it's not making Saquon Barkley's money because the Eagles gave Saquon a nice boost, and good for him. But the amount of money it might have cost the Giants to maybe keeps, or somewhere very close to that, maybe keep Saquon actually here, right? They're now giving, instead of keeping Saquon here, now they're keeping their number 3, not 1, not 2, number 3 wide receiver here. About the same amount of money, but you kind of still wonder, if the Giants are going to try to maybe do something in the draft, add somebody else like that, because after Slayton, after Wan'Dale, after Malik, who do we got? So is Hyatt, is he ever going to get on the field? Is he ever going to start catching passes? Is he going to, get over the problems he has? All right. Darius Slayton returns to the Giants. Giants bring back their most veteran receiver. Giants are keeping wide receiver Darius Slayton and per Mike Garafolo, as they've agreed to terms on a 3-year deal worth $36 million in a deal done by David, I don't know, whatever his agent is. Let's see. A fitting reward for a player who has consistently been the Giants' best receiver since being drafted in 2019. He's been here since 2019. It seemed as though Slayton was destined to leave the Giants. I was a little shocked. But they retained one of their most veteran players, which obviously is important too, for the locker room too. Obviously every year there's going to be turnover, no matter what. But keeping some of your veteran players around is pretty important. And I said, I just can't stand when you draft a guy and he's been a good player for you, and then I hate that. I'm the old, as you can tell, right? I like, it's football. It's the same, but it's a little bit different. because back when, there was no free agency or nothing like that, you could build a team. Right, guys maybe didn't like how much they were getting paid. Well, that'll always be, right. That'll never change. Guys always want more money, right? But it was always easier to build a team back then because you had the guy he was your guy. He was on your team. That was, right? So it was easier to build a team. It's harder, now. To build a team that would keep the same team together, right? With free agency and all that and everything. That's it. Everybody wants more money. I want more money, right? It's all about the money. Slayton brings uncommon size and speed to the perimeter of the Giants defense. Those traits could be an important part of the Giants offense in 2025 and beyond. Giants have clearly wanted to throw the ball downfield over the last 2 years. Yep. And Slayton's size and speed give them an explosive presence on the outside. Slayton has averaged roughly 15 yards per catch over the last 3 seasons. Not too shabby, as well as 73 targets and roughly 700 yards per season. He would almost certainly be the second option behind Malik Neighbors for the Giants. However, his presence would help create more room underneath for Wan'Dale Robinson, who had 93 catches, and Tyrone Tracy. And, of course, his speed down the field will create big plays for more aggressive quarterback play, whoever that quarterback's going to be, right? As with the additions of cornerback Paulson Adebo, we got some other guys to talk about too. Retaining Slayton removes a potential draft need. So, of course, then there's always going to be undrafted free agents. There's always going to be a plethora of free agents out there who haven't been signed yet, right? Going to be interesting to see if the Giants, try to draft a wide receiver, because that's certainly not one of their strong points right now, right? But, as I said, for the most part, I'm happy Slayton's coming back, right? But, we could use some more weaponry. That is for damn sure. Let's see what we got here. Now, one of the things you got with these, when you got some money to spend, you go out and you get your boomers like your Adebo, right? But then you got Mr. Board here. Right, some just like special teams, maybe some linebacker depth. I know last season I got it right here. There we go. Yeah, let me pop this up here. Find it here. I got 75,000. Oh, there we go. Oh, here we go. All right. Now, last year with Baltimore, right? Graded out overall 65. He only played 213 snaps. Right. Now, if you look over here, right? So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons. All right. He's played in the grand total of a little over 1,000 snaps, grand total. All right. He's had a couple good 65 he graded out last year. Okay. But then you also look over here, he must have been injured. I don't know what it might have been, but he might had to be injured, I guess, in 2020 was with the Patriots. He graded out a 64 in 2022, then a 53, a 51. He played a little bit here with Baltimore in 2019, graded out a 34. But he also, so that's defense. But he's also was on special teams as well, right? So you got to have these guys. Now you'll notice here, talking about special teams ace, the guy was in 421 special team snaps last year, graded out of 65.8. Not too bad. Look here. The guy's like a special teams demon. He's played in 2,600 special team snaps in 7 seasons. At 300, was it like 79 there? 305, 365, 380, 356, 406. And last season, 421 special team snaps. So, but if you look here, the special team, actually, he graded out a 65.8, which isn't bad because a lot of times, whenever I do the special teams grades after each game, after each week when the Giants lose, right? Yeah. Brandon Slayton actually good quality, good quarterback in the pocket, right? Somebody can throw the ball downfield, but time to stand in the pocket and right. Oh yeah, absolutely. Imagine what we could do. Oh yeah, sure. You got that right. But with board here, a lot of times when I do each week after the Giants lose. Right? I'll go over like the offensive grades from PFF, the defensive grades, but I'll go over special teams grades. Now, a lot of times in the special teams, they give them a lot of the guys grade out at like a 60. That's about their basic grade, right? So for the guy to grade out a 65.8, that's pretty good. But actually, that was like a step down for board. He graded out a 65. But if you'll notice here, 2023 with New England, my bad. 74.6, and that was over 400 snaps on special teams. Then at 356 with Detroit, he graded 78.5 special teams. Then he graded out an 83 on special teams with Baltimore in 2021. 380 snaps, he graded out 83.5, 79.5 in 2020, 78.8 in 2019. So this guy is going to give you some good quality special team snaps. That's for sure. And I said, see, does it say? Okay, here, middle linebacker, left outside linebacker. So, right. Yeah, he graded out a 65 last year. He graded 60, a 64, 53, 51. So he can play some defense, and he can also obviously play a lot of special teams. So that's good. All right, now board. 6'2", 240 pounds. He's played 114 regular season games with only 4 starts. With the Ravens, the Lions, and the Patriots. Board has missed only 2 games in the 7 NFL seasons. So that's something the Giants need, right? Somebody who's available. Right? And also 6 postseason appearances, all with the Ravens. During his second stint with Baltimore in 2024, Board led the Ravens with 382 plays on special teams. He is 5th in the NFL with 65 total special teams tackles since his originally entered as undrafted free agent in 2018. In his first season, he led the Ravens with a career-high 12 special teams tackles. the second most by an undrafted rookie in franchise history, trailing only Bart Scott. Guy was pretty good. Who had 16 in 2002. Board's defensive numbers include 90 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 3 passes defensed, 9 quarterback hits, 5 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and a partridge in a pear tree. So he's had a lot, but once again on defense, all those the 90 tackles, 3.5 sacks. That was over the course of many seasons. Board was a 4-time FCS national champion at North Dakota State. They seem to win that every year. And a 3-time Missouri Valley Football Conference honor roll selection. So, so special teams is going to be huge, right, for Board. But, if need be, he last year anyway with the Ravens, he did play a little bit outside linebacker, and he played in middle linebacker as well too. So, right. So, let me see. I don't know if it said. Let's say how much. Okay, here you go. 2-year deal worth up to $6 million. So, not bad. He spent the 2023 campaign with the Patriots after agreeing on a 2-year, $5 million contract with the Patriots. So, $3 million. Now, once again, this is one of those things that when I did the one Devon video, was it last night? Yeah. How the Giants going to spend their money, right? You see, you got X amount of dollars to spend, right? Maybe you go after 1 or 2, right? High price guys, then you have a bunch of smaller, guys filling in. And so we got him, right? I'm talking about, and then so we got Board, and then we got a couple other guys here to talk about. A lot of these lower price guys. Now this guy here is certainly interesting, right? Because he can play as he did last season, I think in the year before. I didn't keep looking back over all the years, but both right tackle and left tackle. So does that mean we have a swing tackle actually on the roster? Mr. Hudson, and it wasn't like a 1-year deal either. It's a 2-year deal. After being burned 2 seasons in a row by not having an adequate backup swing tackle on the roster, the Giants appear to have finally learned their lesson. Giants have reportedly agreed to terms with James Hudson III, who spent the last 4 years of his career with the Browns. Hudson, who will be 26 in May, 6'5", 313 pounds, who was a 4th-round pick by the Browns in 2021. He has played in 49 regular season games with 17 starts. Hudson has experience playing both sides. Pro Football Focus, Hudson played in 1,113 snaps at right tackle and 278 snaps at left tackle. Per Mike Garafolo, Hudson's contract, 2-year, $12 million deal with an additional $4 million in incentives. So I'm gonna the last portion of my program here, I'm gonna bring up a little something I'm just thinking about here. Giants have watched obviously Andrew, their left tackle Andrew Thomas, miss significant time with injuries in each of the past 2 seasons. Both of those seasons, the primary backup plan was to move Joshua Zudu, who was drafted as a guard, out to left tackle. That plan failed miserably in both seasons, leaving the Giants scrambling for answers. Hudson is by no means a great player. Jared Mueller of SB Nation's Dogs by Nature, which covers the Browns, called him inconsistent. Still, he is an actual tackle with a fair amount of experience playing on both sides. That has to be a step toward building better depth. Maybe one that comes 2 years later than it should have, but better than late than never. Okay, here we go. See if I can share this here. But I mean, doesn't necessarily mean he's the he's not the starter. We got Illuminor and we got Thomas, right? Why they rush to pick a guy who sucks on day one is crazy. They should have gotten someone as good at any point in free agency. Yep. Yeah. Don't know. One of the things I was reading is that they were talking about looking at maybe going into the guard market. Now, obviously, that's still possible, but yeah. All right. All there. Oops, share screen. Here we go. I got him here. Oh, here we go. All right. So let's. All right. Hudson the third. Okay. Now, you look right here, right? I got to move my legs. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. So now you look. He played in the first 4 weeks last season for the Browns, which means he played in week 3 against the Giants. Right? Didn't grade out too well. Now, in his first week against Dallas, he didn't do too bad. But if you look here, Jacksonville, he graded out of 42. Against the Giants, he graded out of 46. And against the Raiders, week 4, he graded out of 55.4. Now, according to Pro Football Focus, he didn't give up any sacks. But he did give up 15 pressures over 4 games. So basically, he averaged giving up almost 4 pressures a game. His first 2 games, he gave up 10 pressures. So if you average giving up 4 pressures a game, was that 17, 34, 68 pressures? That's not too good. Almost 70 pressures in a season. That's not too good. All right, so if we look here, so how old is he? 25. Okay. In May 13th, he'll be 26. But see if you look, right? Last year he graded out of 50.4. 2023, 622 snaps, total snaps. He graded out of 44.7. 2022, 296 snaps, 57.8. Now his run blocking that year was okay. It was good at a 77. And his rookie season, 303 snaps, 57.3. All right. Here we go. But you'll notice last year, right? He played left tackle, right tackle, left tackle. All right. 2023 did the same thing here, right? Left tackle, left, right. Sound like a drill sergeant. Left, right, left, right. So, right. So in 2023, he played a lot of left and a lot of right. 2022, what do we got there? Yeah, right tackle, left, right, left. So they've used him a lot at left and right. In his rookie season, 2021, he only played 6 games, but he played left tackle and right tackle. So let's see here. All right. Anything else on him? Bam. All right, here we go. Giants have signed Cleveland Brown offensive tackle James Hudson III, 2-year deal worth $12 million with another $4 million in incentives. It's safe to assume that the incentives are based on playing time, a nifty way to work in a salary elevator if Hudson is thrust into the starting lineup. Hudson has the athletic ability to develop into something, but it has never exactly come to fruition. In 2024, Hudson played 225 offensive snaps for the Browns before missing the remainder of the season due to a shoulder injury. Throughout his career with the Browns, Hudson has played primarily as a right tackle, but moved to left tackle before the 2024 season. Hudson has allowed 79 pressures through his 4 seasons in the NFL, most of which came during the 2023 season. At this point, especially considering the contract, Hudson should be expected to be the backup swing tackle. That's what I'm thinking. When Hudson was coming out of Cincinnati in 2021, I spoke to NFL scouts. Is this Patty Traynor? Nope, Brandon Olson. Okay. Let's see. I spoke to NFL scouts who felt he could also play guard at the next level, but he hasn't been asked to play there. Nope, not at all. He's only, all he's done is right tackle, left tackle. So, let's see. Hudson the third, Esquire. All right, so then we got, and then I don't know. of course, the thing is, you always want, let's go out and get this guy, spend 20 million, bring this guy in, let's bring this guy in, let's bring this guy in. Yeah. So they went out, they got some depth, right? I still would love somewhere along the line for them to bring somebody in next to Sexy, right? Who's, of course, you're not going to get somebody who's equal to Sexy unless Reggie White comes back or something like that. But, but I mean, somebody, pretty darn good. But once again, you got money to spend. You go out and you get your one nice free agent, and then you got to bring in some other guys who give you some depth. All right. Let me show you. They did Chauncey Goldstein. He is. Did they sign him? Did they bring him in? I didn't. I was seeing these. I guess I got to do another video on it. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. Okay. Cool. Good. All right. Good. All right. Very, very good. All right. Wait. Let me see. Let me share my screen here. All right. Share the screen. All right. Once again, let's see here. Oh, there we go. Would I steer you wrong? No. All right. So, guy's been around, right? He's been around, Mr. Roy Robertson Harris. He's been around. He's been on quite a few different teams, right? He was on 2 teams last year, right? But if you'll notice down here, right, they came in 2017 with Chicago. Then he was with Jacksonville, and then last year he split with Jacksonville and Seattle. Now, obviously, he's with the Giants. Now, I mean, there's the good and the bad. Obviously, his tackling needs to be a little something to be. Once again, this is all according to PFF. That's all I'm going by, right? But he's had some. These are his season grades, right? Last year, right? We go here. The overall. Between the two, he graded out a 52.8. His run defense was a 56, 54 in the pass rush, right? He had 398 snaps, 226 pass rushes. He got 16 total pressures, right? So if you go back, right, and look at 2023 when he was with Jacksonville, he had 464 pass rush snaps. Okay, he had 42 total pressures. So that's like what, 1 out of every maybe 11 pass rush snaps. He got himself a pressure. He'll get you the occasional sack. Right? Last year he had 2. If you look here, he had 4 and then 4. 4. Right? So, he's never going to get you any more. I guess he's never going to get you any more than 4 sacks in the season. But he can get you some pressures. He can get you some hurries. But I mean, probably maybe a slight step up. I mean, if you go look at, DJ Davidson or Jordan Riley, right? Now, I do know, obviously, with him, as I said last year, right? He graded out, with Jacksonville, graded out of 54, 52 run defense, 57 pass rush, and it was with Seattle, 53, a 61 run defense, and a 52 on the pass rush, so, right? Now, it's the same thing with him. They signed him. He was, there we go, 2-year deal, $10 million. So he's $5 million a year, right? Now, it's going to be interesting to see, do they let go of Nacho? Because if they let go of Nacho, they could save themselves a little bit of money. Such fancy names. Yeah, I know. Roy Robertson. Yeah, right. Yeah. If they're going to let go of Nacho, they would save themselves some money. Be interesting to see. Right? But Giants got some helps for defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence in the free agent market on Monday, reportedly signing veteran defensive tackle Roy Robertson Harris to a 2-year, $10 million contract Robertson Harris is a 9-year vet who has played for the Bears, the Jaguars, and the Seahawks. He split last season with the Jaguars and the Seahawks, appearing in 17 games, 2 sacks, 20 tackles, 5 quarterback hits. He was released last week by Seattle and was thus eligible to sign before the free agency period started. So he joins Sexy Dexy Nacho on a defensive line that needs reinforcements. Yep, absolutely. Giants also have young players like Chapman, Davidson, and Riley along the line. Giants also agreed to term the Adebo, yeah. Let me say this one here too. Robinson has 6'5", so he's got some nice length to him. 290 pounds. So played 117 regular season games with 62 starts. The veteran defensive tackle was registered at Grand 12, 19 sacks, 27 tackles for loss, 67 quarterback hits, 14 pass defense, 211 total tackles. The 31-year-old tackle has also played 3 games, 2 starts in the playoffs and recorded 1 sack, 5 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits, 14 total tackles. Prior to signing with the Bears as an undrafted free agent, Robertson Harris played at the University of Texas, El Paso, where he was named All-CUSA honorable mention as a junior in 2014. He finished his collegiate career with 10.5 sacks, 26 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles. So we got some depth. Certainly got some depth on, on the defensive line. Now, this is the last one I'm just going to bring up here real fast. So, interesting. Now, it's just we got Illuminor. I think we're paying him like $7 million a year, right? I mean, I think this year coming up is his last year, right? Then we got, Evan Neal's supposed to be a tackle. He's a first-round pick, right? We're paying the other guy we just brought in, the swing tackle, who apparently is kind of inconsistent or whatever. We're paying him, $6 million a year. Then we got Andrew Thomas. Why do we have so many tackles that were, you go out and you bring that one guy in, right, the free agent. Does this mean that maybe something's going on here with Evan Neal? We're going to, why do we have, right? We're gonna be doing something with Mr. Neal here. Is he gonna be possibly maybe? The other thing is I did see. It was just somebody wrote an article, obviously, right? And then people like me read the articles. But like the Giants were trying to maybe take a dive into the guard market and free agency, right? Now they could also bring GVR back too, right? Because he would be on the cheap. But we could use a right guard, right? So I'm saying, we brought in a swing tackle, right? I mean, on the active roster, how many tackles do you have? You only got, I think, only 3, right? And if we actually have, like maybe a Zudu on the 53, right? He can also get moved out there to tackle as well too. So I'm just kind of wondering, it's like, if we have all these tackles and they just went out in free agency and brought in a swing tackle, what's that make of Evan Neal, right? So they're going to maybe actually try to put him in a guard and see what it goes on there. Might he have a chance maybe to become the right guard for the Giants? Because you figure their offensive line, right? We got Thomas, right? We got Runyon Jr., right? John Michael Schmitz, and we got Illuminor. Right, so we need that guard. So who's that going to be? Is that going to be Evan Neal? Very, very interesting. Kind of makes you think. So that's day 1 in the books. You're not sure how much, what the Giants are going to be doing as far as because you figure if they're paying. Obviously you don't know how the money's working out and all and everything. Like Adebo, right? He's averaging $18 million a year. What's his cap hit this season? Slayton's averaging $12 million a year. What's his cap hit for this season? These other guys we brought in are averaging like $5-6 million a year, right? So if you figure between, that's at least between all the guys we brought in today, we basically dished out like at least $40 million a year between these guys that we brought. So what are their cap hits for this season? right? Be interesting to see if Shane, extends anybody's contracts, reworks them at all. We're going to be letting go, maybe. Just saying, Gano. I've seen obviously some reports. Maybe Singletary might go. Who knows, right? Going to let go of Nacho. Who knows? To free up some extra cap space. But of course, obviously, the biggest thing that we're all waiting on is who's going to be that quarterback. Who the Giants are going to take a flyer on quarterback? I saw Darnold. I don't know, man. I mean, it's like, so the Seahawks let Geno Smith go, and they brought in Darnold. Wow. Okay. All right. No. All right. Well, we'll have to wait and see. So we'll have to wait and see, what the Giants might have doing in free agency. But, quite possibly, right? I mean, as far as the quarterback, quite possibly you can bring in some type of veteran. And is that veteran going to be, somebody up here as far as money wise, or we're going to get on the lower end of the scale, right? And of course, then we have to wait for like another month and a half for the draft to pop up, see what the Giants might have doing there. But you figure at least what in for training camp anyway, the Giants are going to need 4 quarterbacks, right? We got 1, right? So we're going to need 3. Now, obviously, one of them could be like somebody like a Tim Boyle or somebody like that. But we're going to need to draft somebody, quite possibly a quarterback, and get somebody on the free agent market. So that's what to look for. Maybe tomorrow. Will the Giants finally get their quarterback? We'll have to wait and see who that might be. All right, Drew. Good talking to you, brother. Good talking to you. All right. So whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay, this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.